Tonight on CBC Vancouver News.
It's all gone. Everything.
Destruction and devastation. A fast-moving wildfire destroys homes near Kamloops. Also,
under-immunized young people, mostly between the ages of 20 and 40. That's where we're seeing this spread.
new restrictions for the central Okanagan as COVID cases grow, impacting the healthcare system. And
Canada came! Canada conquered! Canada gold!
Canadian women's soccer delivers.
Amazing! I'm on top of the world.
A BC player's pivotal role in snatching the gold medal.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. COVID cases are growing rapidly in the central Okanagan. It's so bad, it's already putting a strain on the healthcare system there. So the province is now bringing in new restrictions for the areas in and around Kelowna. Janella Hamilton joins us live with more on this. Janella, what's changing?
Well, with more than half of today's new COVID-19 cases coming from Interior Health Region, BC's health minister says more needs to be done now. The new tightened restrictions are for Peachland, Kelowna, West Kelowna, and Lake Country. Starting with indoor personal gatherings, they will be limited to 5 people or 1 extra household. Personal or organized outdoor gatherings have been limited to 50 people. Nightclubs and bars will be closed starting tonight. Restaurants will now go back to limiting tables to 6 people, but they don't have to be from the same household. And liquor can only be served until 10 p.m. High-intensity fitness activities are suspended, and previous restrictions on vacation rentals, such as Airbnbs and houseboats, are back, limiting the number to 5 people in total. Similar rules as last summer, and health officials are urging against all non-essential travel to the region. Dr. Bonnie Henry says it is especially important for people to follow these new restrictions as cases are now spilling into healthcare settings.
We have 2 outbreaks in the central Okanagan and 2 additional outbreaks in long-term care. And it's affecting the lives of the residents and staff in those facilities. And also now we're seeing dozens of staff members in acute care settings who've been infected.
As for organized events that cannot be rescheduled this weekend, they can proceed, but the province is asking people to keep track of who is in attendance and limit communal activities.
Okay, Janella, a lot changing here. So I want to go back a little bit. How are these infections actually happening?
Well, Dr. Henry says most cases are from social gatherings. 80% of cases in the interior are linked to the highly transmissible Delta variant.
Most of the transmission events we are seeing are through social gatherings, whether that's in vacation rentals, people coming together and having parties, in bars and nightclubs that we've seen. We've seen transmission in fitness centers and personal gatherings, from parties to weddings to other events.
The increase in cases among healthcare workers is leading to staffing shortages and preventing people from accessing vital care. 46% rather of ICU cases are in the Interior Health Region. Most of them are among under-vaccinated people.
Janella Hamilton reporting live tonight. Thanks, Janella. Now, there are 464 new cases of COVID-19 in BC overall as the province's 4th wave continues to jump upwards. Again, nearly 60% of those new cases are in the Interior Health Region. 52 people are in hospital in the province, 24 in intensive care, and there are no new deaths to report tonight. Another BC community has been devastated by wildfire. The White Rock Lake fire has reduced homes and businesses to rubble around Monty Lake. Thousands are on evacuation orders and alerts, but as Katie Nicholson shows us, despite the dangers, not everyone is prepared to heed those warnings.
Greedy flames devour trees and shoot upward into the reddened sky. Black smoke chokes the air. This was the fire that moved in on Monty Lake yesterday, taking with it homes.
Oh, sweet home.
Businesses, cars, all reduced to smoldering, sizzling ash. Despite the uncertainty and terror of the fast-moving fire, some defied evacuation orders. Sandra Pringle refused to leave her home in nearby Westwold last night.
I didn't sleep last night.
And if she crosses this barricade today, she won't be allowed back home.
They should have shut that fire down when it was small enough to manage.
That mistrust of the fire service strengthening her conviction to stay put and protect her own home. Today, BC's Minister of Public Safety targeted evacuation holdouts like her.
They are putting their lives at danger. They are putting the lives of firefighters in danger. They are hindering efforts to get the very fire that they're concerned about under control.
This after he warned crews had to rescue stragglers from the fire zone last night.
Nobody got saved by anybody yesterday. Everybody was running for their lives, them included.
The clash comes as the White Rock Lake fire has become increasingly aggressive and volatile, pushed forward by strong gusts. Today, a sober assessment of how aggressive in Monty Lake.
The damage has been extensive, and for all I know, it may indeed have pretty much eliminated the whole community.
As helicopters dump water into the area's parched earth, Sandra Pringle remains resolute. She's not budging.
But I'm not going to leave unless they drag me out. And they're going to have a hard time dragging me out, I can promise you that.
And with that, another defiant, sleepless night in the evacuation zone. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Vernon.
Meteorologist Johanna Wagstaffe is here now with the forecast. Joe, I know really hoping for widespread rain this weekend. How is it looking with the fire situation?
Yeah, Anita, the first pressure system bringing some rain, but it's really the Saturday system that I'm hoping we see much more widespread rain for the province. Take a look at the accumulated rainfall map as I take you through to Sunday. So the light green, that sort of trace amounts, but most of southern BC by Sunday afternoon looking to get in the sort of 5 to 20 millimeter range. So by no means is that a fire ending situation, but it will come with some cooler temperatures. Watch as I take you through to the forecast for Saturday. And then Sunday, some of our coolest air yet across the southern half of the province. That in combination with cooler temperatures and hopefully dying winds on the back end of this system should help at least hopefully gain the upper hand on some of those fires, because until then it is windy. And after that, look at these forecast highs getting back into the 30s by Tuesday, and by Wednesday and Thursday next week, we're into another heat wave for southern BC, and that goes for Vancouver as well. We've got all-day rain on Saturday, 5 to 10 millimeters for us, first significant rainfall we've seen since June 15th. That'll linger through Sunday. Sunshine by the back end of Sunday. It is amazing how many children's birthday parties have lined up for that Saturday, and I know you feel conflicted saying we do want the rain, but yes, it is going to rain all day. We get back to the sunshine for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and beyond. And for Vancouver, YVR even hitting the high 20s come Thursday and Friday. So yet another heat wave just around the corner, Anita.
No birthday parties. Thanks, Joe. Canada women's soccer team made history today at Tokyo 2020, winning gold with a dramatic penalty kick against Sweden.
Julia Grosso from Vancouver to win it for Canada! Canada came! Canada conquered! Canada gold at Tokyo 2020!
That gold medal goal was scored by Canadian midfielder Julia Grosso from Vancouver in a shootout. It came after the game was tied at 1-1 at the end of regulation time and extra time, including an outstanding performance by Canada's Stephanie Labbe in goal. Final score, Canada 3, Sweden 2. Now, this was Canada's first ever appearance in the Olympic women's gold match. Canada had won back-to-back bronze medals coming into Tokyo 2020. Now again, lucky number 7 scored that historic goal for Canada. She got her start in soccer out here, growing up in Vancouver. Susanna De Silva caught up with her family today to talk about the gold medal game, and there was a surprise guest.
Julia Grosso from Vancouver to win it for Canada!
The golden goal and ecstatic celebrations on the pitch and in one Coquitlam home.
Honestly, it was super exciting. Like, I don't even know how to describe how I was feeling. Like, I think I was a little bit nervous, but at the same time, like, I knew this was a moment that they were ready for.
To me, it's always, I'm positive, just shoot, score, pick a corner and just shoot. And she did, right?
The party had to start early, 5 a.m. at Julia Grosso's family's home. A little coffee, a little wine, and a lot of confidence that with the pressure of a nation on her shoulders, she would come through.
We were sitting there because after like 4 or 5 of them went, I'm like, hey, Julia's going. Like, I know she's told us before that she's one of the PK takers. And so we were getting nervous, but, you know, she looked so focused and, you know, on that screen, I was like, she's got this.
And it's the culmination of a lifelong aspiration.
She went to the 2015 World Cup. She was just doing my math here. She was, 14? And her dream was always, Dad, I want to play for Canada.
To Carly and to Julia, with love, Cristiano Ronaldo.
She wears number 7 for Cristiano Ronaldo and her Portuguese half of the family, but it is the player who has scored even more than he has, the Canadian woman who has scored more international goals than anyone else, who helped her believe her dream could be a reality. And it was scoring for Christine Sinclair that she was still talking about moments after getting her medal.
I literally was the ball girl for one of her games. Like, it's insane. So it's like she's done everything, and it's just so nice to like get the gold medal for her, honestly.
Julia Grosso, part of the next generation, 20 years of age.
Grosso plays for the University of Texas and is one of the youngest players on the Canadian squad and can now take her turn as an inspiration to others.
Something to look up to, right? They have all their role models up there showing them what, you know, what women can do in sports. So.
Susanna Da Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
Incredible. Tears every time you see the footage. And the city of Burnaby is also celebrating Christine Sinclair's win with that new medal at the Christine Sinclair Community Center.
We're so pleased that she was able to bring home the gold after all she's given. 21 years of soccer for Team Canada. It's an amazing record, and she has certainly led Canada through many battles.
A giant gold medal and commemorative banner congratulating Team Canada now hangs on the Christine Sinclair Community Center. On May 31st, Burnaby City Council renamed the facility on Kensington Avenue after Sinclair. Born and raised in Burnaby, she is the team captain and also led Canada to win bronze at the 2012 London and 2016 Rio Olympic Games. Okay, if you've ever done a road trip in this province, you've probably got your favorite pit stop, a diner, a cafe, or a coffee shop you go to grab a quick bite somewhere between your home and the place that you're headed to. But what makes these pit stops unique in British Columbia? Well, our very own Justin McElroy, of course, did a little road trip to find out.
Run a small town pit stop on the side of the highway, and it's a pretty simple recipe for success.
We like to keep it like mostly the same as you would remember it.
There are about 2,000 people in Okanagan Falls, and about the same number through Tickleberry's ice cream shop every day in the summer. The vast majority out-of-towners traveling to their summer destination.
It's a nostalgia thing for a lot of people. People have been coming since they were a kid, now bringing their own kids here as well.
There are Tickleberries throughout the province, just with different names and different specialities. They're in Hope and Ladysmith, Princeton and Greenwood, small places that attract big crowds.
We could never survive with just the local people. There's only 2,000 people here in most of the year. Most of our customers are from Alberta, I think.
And these pit stops are a big part of the economy in small towns.
We probably employ close to 30 employees during our summer months. And gosh, we're upwards around, we're moving about 100, 120 pies a day mid-season. Cinnamon buns, probably 110 cinnamon buns a day.
But it's not the pies or cinnamon buns that make BC's pit stop culture unique. It's the geography.
When there's so many mountain ranges, there's only a limited number of roads that connect most regions in the province. And for the people that do open roadside businesses, they're just seen repeatedly by huge numbers of travelers.
And while nostalgia is important, times do change. De Dutchman Dairy used to have a zoo. Now it has a tractor farm. Tickleberries does vegan ice cream. And the type of popular pit stops are diversifying to better reflect BC as well.
We offer that authenticity to the public that doesn't get offered
you know, as much as like your typical McDonald's or Tim Hortons or Starbucks.
The Kukuli Cafe goes through thousands of pieces of bannock every week. Elijah Mack started working at their Merritt location at 18 and purchased the franchise at 22.
So I'm from Bellacoola, the Nukhalk Nation, and our biggest food is salmon, and we have it here. So 18 years here, you know, we harvest wild game, and now we have venison on the menu. So.
Owners of these places agree wildfire seasons and the pandemic have put a dent into their business. But so long as folks continue to get hungry every 4 or 5 hours, there will always be those welcoming pit stops on the side of the highway, ready to serve a piece of pie and some hearty memories on the side. Justin McElroy, CBC News, Vancouver.
One person has died in Surrey after a crash overnight with a garbage truck. The call came in just before 3 a.m. RCMP say a truck was picking up garbage near King George Boulevard and 106th Avenue in Whalley. At some point, a pedestrian was hit. Police say the driver called police and is cooperating with the investigation.
Emergency health services arrived on scene, and unfortunately, the pedestrian, was pronounced deceased at scene. We do not have information regarding whether this person was homeless or not.
Investigators are in the area taking witness statements. They're asking anyone with information or dash cam video to contact the Surrey RCMP. Well, the end of Huawei CFO Meng Wanzhou's extradition hearing is one step closer. The first week of the final chapter of the court case wrapped up today. Meng's lawyers made a final push to toss the case. Meng is accused of fraud in relation to violations of U.S. economic sanctions. The defense claims the U.S. misled Canada into arresting Meng by giving the extradition judge a misleading version of events tailored to make her look guilty, when the facts show she is not. In the next 2 weeks, her lawyers and the Crown are expected to battle over the very substance of those allegations. The final day of the case is set for August 20th, but the judge isn't expected to make a final ruling for weeks. Well, you've probably seen them zipping around our streets lately. Electric scooters are becoming a popular choice for people to get around. But Gianpaolo Mendoza is looking into the rules of the road for folks taking the two-wheeled option.
Electric scooters are now legal in several BC cities, but these machines aren't your two-wheeled razor from elementary school. Many of them can match speeds of electric bicycles and even cars. For Kelsey Doherty, it's become her main way to get around Vancouver.
I got in a car accident and my car was totaled, and so I was either gonna buy a new car or get a scooter, and so I decided to go for the more affordable option and get a scooter, especially because I was working from home.
Demand for scooters has also been increasing in Metro Vancouver, in part due to the pandemic.
I've seen a lot of people come through the door, especially with COVID happening, so they're not comfortable, riding on buses or SkyTrain, and electric scooters are a great alternate ways of transportation. Per month, we can sell up to I guess 20 or 30. We really sell out quite quickly, and then we're on the back order list, so demand's very high there.
And they can be affordable. Some models range in price from a few $100s to the thousands. But as more people take to the roads on these two-wheeled vehicles, the province has had to lay down some rules for riders. Here's what you need to know before you power on your scooter. BC's current rules are part of a province-wide pilot project to see how regulating scooters can work on a larger scale. 8 municipalities are allowed to create bylaws to regulate e-scooters. Here's Vancouver Police Sergeant Steve Addison to break down the core rules from the province.
The rules for people riding electric scooters are essentially the same as the rules for anybody who's riding a bike. So you should have a helmet, you should have a light either on the scooter itself or on you, and you need to obey the rules of the road. You've got to be 16 years old at a minimum, and you're not supposed to go above 24 kilometers an hour.
But where exactly can you ride your electric scooter? You may have seen people riding them in all sorts of places, but not all of those are strictly legal.
For e-scooters, the rules are pretty simple. You're not allowed to take them on the seawall, you can't have them on sidewalks, and you can't have them on major streets. A major street being something with a dividing line down the middle. They're okay to operate on minor streets, and they're perfectly okay in bike lanes.
According to the province, you're also not allowed to operate electric scooters in crosswalks and in some city parks. On streets with no bike lane, riders are encouraged to ride as close to the right-hand side of the road as possible. So what happens if you're caught breaking the rules? The VPD say it can issue tickets, but it's taking a softer approach for now.
We'll try to gain compliance through educating them, reminding them of the rules. If there are egregious circumstances where we can't gain that compliance and that understanding through educating them, we certainly will have that discretion to issue a ticket. The ticket for various offenses can go up to about $109. So, once people find that out, they tend to change their behavior and follow the rules. There's a limited amount of space here, and all kinds of people are competing for it. We encourage people to be courteous to others and to be respectful to others.
While the laws might seem restrictive for some riders, for people like Kelsey, they don't outweigh the benefits of her two-wheeled vehicle.
It's really great because I can just take it and just meeting up with friends, running errands. I think the scooter community is growing so fast in Vancouver. I feel like I see more and more people on these, and yeah, it's just really fun to ride.
E-scooters are among the growing number of ways people are getting around cities, but no matter what your method of transport is, authorities are reminding people to check local bylaws before riding so everyone can have a safe daily commute. John Paulo Mendoza, CBC News, Vancouver.
Thanks for watching us online tonight. We are back on television at 6 p.m. as well as online starting next week, and our late and weekend shows will be back too. We leave you with the sights and sounds of Bhangra sensation Gurdeep Bender, who brought his passion for dance to Victoria today. Have a great weekend.
5, 6, 7, 8. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes.